Hello, I'm Finlay MacDonald and this is Talk Talk, the show that works hard to live up to its name. Coming up later, music from a singer requested by our special guest, so let's meet the guest. He was born in Gisborne 41 years ago of a Scottish mother and a Tahitian father. Like his father, he went into the law and from there into Parliament in 2006 as a Labour list MP, where he is seen as one of the party's rising stars. He is Charles Chauvel and I'm very pleased to welcome him to Talk Talk. Hello, Charles.
G'day, Finlay.
I do hope your flight was acceptable this morning. No noisy children to upset you.
I was on a flight from New Plymouth and everybody was incredibly well behaved, thank you. No right-wing bloggers lurking in the background.
Well, the reason I asked you, obviously, is without relitigating that micro scandal. Did you learn anything about the media tendencies from that and how you handle them and what the media is particularly interested in?
Well, it was an extraordinary experience, really. I was rung up by a reporter and asked if I'd seen the blog from this guy who, apparently whose last blog was a caricature of Helen Clark with male genitals featured on it, which I think should have told people something. And I said no, because I don't tend to look at blogs, but by the time I was walking round to our caucus room later that morning, there was the media pack wanting to know nothing about any issue of the day, but whether or not the dreaded words, "I wish those kids would shut up," had been uttered. And I did learn a few things about the way in which the media, first of all, could be led to look at a particular so-called issue, which I thought was interesting and quite disappointing. But in terms of managing it, I thought to myself, well, first of all, it's important to actually describe what did happen, because clearly it's not going to be a story that will go away otherwise. And secondly, actually, I learnt that if you front up and you know, tell the truth and explain your perspective, there's a lot to be said for that approach.
Yeah. Did you think being gay contributed to that kind of attention?
I think probably my sexual orientation has been a matter of fascination amongst a certain sector in the blogosphere and by extension in the media, because some of our media seem to take their lead from what is on blogs. It seems to be a substitute for research these days. And I think that kind of extreme right-wing sector in the blogging world has tended to obsess about the role that gay and lesbian people might be playing in politics these days. So certainly there's
a conspiracy.
No doubt, no doubt, along with many other terribly well-concealed ones around climate change and international finance.
It's a strange thing because, I mean, I've yet to, as an interviewer, to ask anyone, you know, when they first discovered they were heterosexual. But I guess being gay and going into public life, you just come to expect these kind of questions.
Well, I suppose there's an extent to which that's true. I remember the last time I was in this building was just after the reshuffle when Paul Holmes was interviewing me on Q&A, and one of the first questions he asked related to my sexual orientation, and I asked him why he would ask that question. I mean, I have no issue. I'm very proud of who I am. But if you want to ask about personal characteristics, why not ask about being the first Pacific Island person on the front bench of a major political party? Neither he nor Guy and Espiner had done any research to indicate that that was the case. So you do wonder.
Here am I repeating all of the same.
Well, you've asked the question, and it's nice to have the opportunity to express a view about the shallowness and the lack of research in many cases.
Were you surprised, for instance, when your domestic arrangements became an issue? You know, that you're in a relationship with a man, you share parenting of a child. The
most surprising thing was that when it was announced that I was going into Parliament, the Dominion Post reporter, I think it might have been Martin Kay, came and asked me those questions. And I felt that, as I said, I'm not ashamed of who I am by any means, so I thought the best policy was simply to answer questions that had been put to me honestly. The to open the newspaper and to see the Dominion Post say that I was trumpeting my sexual orientation when all I was trying to do was answer questions honestly from a journalist made me realise why so many people choose not to take that approach.
You can't really win, can you?
Well, if you can, I'm not quite sure how you do.
Yeah. I mean, there is that issue of being gay. Do you automatically have to be a campaigner for gay rights, or have you had that conversation with yourself?
Well, I think the interesting phase that we're in now is that you're seeing gay and lesbian politicians enter politics who haven't come up through those issues as the things that motivate them. They are motivated by wider concerns that have brought them into politics, and
which would describe yourself, I presume.
Yeah, I mean the notion of equal opportunity for everybody in New Zealand, including gay and lesbian New Zealanders, is very important to me, and I've worked hard on those issues. But they're not the only issues that brought me into politics. And so I think from now on, when you see gay and lesbian politicians coming into public life, they'll be much less interested in being pigeonholed on just those issues.